From the last time you saw this, I just fertilized it as heavy as I could without burning, of course, and then just let it grow. So basically it was untouched from the last time you saw this. All these very vigorous growth, not paying attention to a lot of details yet. I'm just trying to see what we could see inside by removing all this excess things to work on. So now I'm kind of lost of what my intentions was. Luckily, I made this little booklet, right? And then I was trying to figure out what I might do. And thanks to that, I know what I'm supposed to do. This is my main side, and this is supposed to be the side branch. But all this growth just came on in 1 year because I let it go. But I'll go back to my original plan, cut this off, and see where it leads us. So those of you that maybe are like me, beginning to forget things, write it down. This is more what I wanted to do. So I just cut that off, and this is where my new apex is. This is my apex. But if you look at the distance between here and here, it's very long and uninteresting. So as much as I hate to do it because of the time, I think I'm going to cut it off here and restart another apex for this to grow back. And hopefully the next time you see the next step, it'll look like that. If it looked like that, then I could create my, well, let me show you. You could go like this, right? Then we could cut it down to here, like this, like this, like this, and have another apex. So I'm gonna put it back in that growing area, feed it, water it, let it let alone half a year to maybe a year. And then we took a close look at this, see how it's progressing. Subject of healing. Now, it hasn't rotted out. This part hasn't really started to recover, but see up here, it's starting to roll over or the new bark forming. So we're in pretty good shape. If this part doesn't recover, then what we might want to do is to take and recarb this, expose the cambium layer, and then see if we get it to recover better. But all in all, I think it's doing a pretty good job of making progress here. To go sideways. Now, this is not a finish. This is just one of those intermediate steps. The completion might be years away yet. So, you know, when you do this kind of project, you should more or less allow like a decade. I know a lot of you say, well, I don't have that much time. Well, you should have got started earlier. Or the other thing you could do is to live long. Of course, I also have a saying here, if you don't have the time or the talent, then bring money. I'll sell you something that's already got shape. Well, there is a handy root with a little pocket underneath, so I run the string. But I pull this one down slightly, and I pull down this one slightly. Now, those of you that tend to wire, you would have to use a very heavy wire to pull those out. And very difficult to do that without snapping. So with the string, what I do is I pull down slightly, and then maybe later on I'll pull slightly. And should I forget to do anything with this, I use the jute so that it actually deteriorates in about half a year before it has a chance to do any damage. So if you're going to use the string like me, make sure you get something that deteriorates. Do not use like nylon, where they last so long that it does just as much damage as if you left the wire on too long. But boxwood tends to be a little bit on the brittle side, so you have to be very careful. Don't try to do too much at once, just slightly. Most of the time I try to do it with the way, saving the growth the way you want. But I thought this one, it looked like it worked. So what I try to do was, I try to change the angle of the bigger part coming down so that in the future it makes the rest of it a little easier. But other than that, I'm gonna just kind of nip the edges, and then I'm gonna say good for now. I'll fertilize this real good, make sure it's getting plenty of water through our summers, and just keep letting it grow. This apex needs to go quite heavy so we can get some girth on it, and then to stop. My overall look for this thing is I want to keep it short so that it has the maximum impact for this big fat trunk.